You guys, there's nothing I do for the new year other than just basically rate music. You guys have New Year's resolutions, goals set in mind, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, what music did I actually really love about 2022 and what music did I think was like the biggest flop of the year? This year, I'm gonna make a video about it. I usually do all of this stuff over on Instagram. I make a cute highlight reel. I do that still. I'm going to do it this year. You can catch all of my previous years over on my Instagram, right in my highlights, but this year, I wanted to make this a conversation and I say let's jump straight into it. Completely forgot to say this in the video, but I wanted to mention that you can follow me on Apple Music. Every year I do a playlist. It's going to be on my Apple Music. 2023 has already started. So follow me for this entire year as I add music, as I add songs. You know, bump that shit. Jake Jones. First, I kind of want to give you a few songs that I think were possibly the worst of the year. And this is only my opinion, so I just want to put that out there. These people have great platforms, they have huge audiences, so my opinion doesn't mean anything. It doesn't hold a flame to the candle, however you want to put it, but it's just my taste. It's just what I think. So to get straight into it, I want to list a couple songs that I thought were the worst songs of the year, and then I want to list maybe one of the worst albums of the year, okay? Okay, I love that I'm like really going off on the handles right now, but I also wanted to mention all of the songs that I decided to say I wasn't a fan of this year all come from some of the most top streamed songs of the year. There's a lot of bad music out there that's also completely subjective, but there's a lot of bad music that gets tons of numbers. That's why I want to mention these. So just want to bring that full circle for you. Mwah. So the first song that I think I heard over and over again, specifically at the gym, that I thought was shit was Vegas by Doja Cat. She did this for the Elvis album, and for me, I think I was sitting there just being like, this is just the bottom of the barrel trash can. You want to put a sample together. You want to put in a little Elvis. You ain't nothing better. So I get it. I just like, I think lyrically, I think instrumentally, melodically, I think this song is just a cheap catch. Like, I can't even say I think it's got some type of hookiness because I don't think it does. It streamed, people listened to it, but I think people got really quick past it. And I think the reason people listened is because it had Doja's name on it. You know, Doja's such a cool artist. I love so much about her. But I think this past year, 2022, was such a miss for her. Anything she came out with, I just sat there and I was like, you know, let's get back to the quality of things. I think I was the only one with the controversial comment of not enjoying Planet Her. But it did numbers, it performed, people liked it, so I'll leave that what it is. But for me, I was not a Planet Her girly. A second song that I thought was trash was ABCDEFGHIJ by an artist called Gail. She's new to the scene, she's a pop scarlet, but her song did numbers on TikTok, then went over to do numbers on streaming platforms, and I can't blame the bitch. She put out a track, it was more so of a debut, wasn't her first song, but it did numbers. She's an amateur artist, and she did really big artist numbers on that song, and I think it is horrible. I think it's horribly written. I think it was built for maybe like a 10 to 12-year-old teenager going through a I hate my family stage, and I think it maybe just resonated. But the entire scheme of like A, B, C, D, E, F, U, like there's so much more she could have done with the instrumental of that track, with the writing of that track. It just wasn't me. And I'm a pop girl. Like, I like white trash pop music. That was bottom of the barrel, and I still hated it entirely. The last song I want to speak to this year that I just was not a fan of, that I think kind of sums up 2022 in a bigger scope of things. 2022 for music was oddly like, let's sample songs from the past and just regenerate it. Let's give it a new lens. And I think some people brought things in and did a really cool moment with it. Other people brought stuff in and made it just like very tame and really was just riding on the numbers that the previous song had and the nostalgic points of it. And that's gonna be First Class by Jack Harlow. I actually was kind of lit when I heard this sample when it was snippeted on TikTok. And then when he released the full track, I was like, sad, depressing. You know, I know Fergie's not at like the tippity top anymore, but I remember when Fergie released the Duchess, that album just did numbers and bangs, and it kind of had its own cultural impact for the time. He came here and he brought it back in, and I was like, you know? So that's Jack Harlow, First Class. I also just want to say, like, Big Energy with Lotto, that was a huge sample of a song. I don't know what it was, but this year was so big for samples. Some went, some did numbers, some didn't. I don't know. I just was not into this, like, whole, I'm gonna sample shit year. I want people to, like, work really hard to have originality in music. And if you can bring in a sample and really reverb it and make it feel fresh and new, go for it. Yeah, oh my god, 2022 was such a year for samples. Okay, next I want to talk about maybe the worst album of the year. And this album is by a pop prince. People know him as Love. I believe it's pronounced Love. L-A-U-V. He dropped an album called All for Nothing, and I think it is the worst pop record I may have ever heard. Not a single song had a single hook that I thought was captivating or kept me in. I sat there and I listened to the whole album, and I've liked a few songs from him from the past, and I was like, what a cheap, sad excuse to put out a body of work, just maybe because you feel like you're in the 2-year calendar of this. I think I'm going to speak to an album that is a great, phenomenal example of how putting out music of quality when you're ready on your own time speaks moments and volumes well over just being on this 2-year calendar cycle for pop music. It's insane. And hip hop and rap music is even quicker than that. I think we need to slow things down. And this is a great segue into some of my favorite songs and my favorite tracks of 2022, babies. First, I want to talk about my favorite album of this past year. I first need to start by saying Sabrina Carpenter's album, Emails I Can't Send, was the #1 contender of earning this spot until the month of December, when Miss Solana SZA herself, Scissor, she dropped the album of albums called SOS. We can take a moment of silence. I'm happy to take a moment of silence, because this album was 23 songs and has been an entire journey and experience for my entire month of December, and it's continuing to go. Emails I Can't Send was a phenomenal project by Sabrina that really was a polarizing moment for her in her shift in her career. Has so much incredible writing, but when SZA dropped SOS, I was like, every song on this album feels classic. It already feels like it's going to be deeply embedded into my memory bank. The writing is so spot on, so truthful, it hurts. So Sabrina, I am definitely giving you an award today, but album of this past 2022 for me was SZA's SOS, and I cannot wait to make more memories with it. Some highlights are obviously Kill Bill for me. I love Love Language. I adore Low, Ghost in the Machine, F2F. I mean, I am starting to resonate with every single song. Like, nothing's a skip anymore. I originally was like, SOS is kind of a skip, and then now I'm like on it like fucking honey, bees to honey, you know? Okay, my favorite song of the year. This one's different. So I do album of the year. My favorite song of the year is called Already Over by Sabrina Carpenter. That song, if I can just play like the first little chords. Now, while I may have given SZA the album of the year, Sabrina really came out and threw me down a flight of stairs with Already Over. This song has such a nostalgic taste to the confusion of getting through a relationship, getting over it, and having the questions and doubts of wanting to go back. It is beautiful in its lyricism. It's beautiful when an artist can really capture the emotion and feeling, matching it to melody and to a beat. This song feels so wildly fresh, so melancholy, while having an interesting country twang. I want to dance to it. I want to cry to it. I want to fall asleep to it. It's got so much embodiment. And I think, to me, it is the one song from 2022 that has left me just kind of gasping for more air. And I adore it, and I sang a little bit to it. I may drop that one day, but I don't think it's gonna be now. But Already Over by Sabrina Carpenter has my favorite song of the year. Congratulations, Sabrina. I have my own award show now. Now, I like to do my favorite music video of the year as well. And I want to say, the music video game this year was very sad for me in 2022. I think there was not a single music video that I walked away from being like, oh my god, that was absolutely spectacular. Oh my god, that was life-changing. Oh my god. The music video of the year for me, the one music video that made my jaw drop because I was not expecting this from Miss Sabrina Carpenter, was Fast Times. And it is specifically a jaw-dropping moment when you see her dance choreo section in the middle of this video. I think lighting is phenomenal. I wouldn't change a thing about the outfits. I wouldn't change a thing about the choreo. I think it was done so well, and it possessed and presented such a side of Sabrina that I was like, what the living shit? Babies, this was my ranking. This was my year, 2022, highlights in music. Tell me what you think. I would love to know, what was your favorite album? What was your favorite song? What was your favorite music video? Please let me know. Please, also, if you want to highlight some of the worst of the year, I would love to know. I am saying all this without mentioning Charlie's name. I still think Charlie's album, Crash, was a spectacular album. But there was room for more love and more art that I adored, and Crash is still so up there for me, and Charlie is still absolutely so up there for me. But Sabrina, SZA, y'all fucking killed me this year. Congratulations. Thank you guys for watching, and please argue with me on any point you'd like. Mwah.
Thank you.